Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Daddy Issues, where we talk about all things dads, divorced dads, separation, custody battles, alienation. The list goes on. There's so many men going through something like this, and this podcast is here to tell their stories and hopefully lend some advice to some other fathers out there. Thank you for listening. Welcome to the podcast.
Oh, I'm ready to be here, man. Thanks for inviting me.
Awesome. Yeah, so I don't know if you've listened to any of the episodes, but it's pretty much just kind of talk about your situation, your story, and how you dealt with it, to try to give some advice to other dads who could be going through something like that.
Oh, that's great. That's I've got my own journey for sure, and I want to help others out. So
Yeah, awesome, man. We'll dive right in if you want to introduce yourself, and then just get started.
Oh, my name's Nick Carpenter, and I got 4 kids. I got married when I was 18. Known my soon-to-be ex-wife since third grade.
Oh wow.
I was married for 14 years. I was working, man, and when COVID hit, I was at Universal Studios as the quality control supervisor, and decided to take my family for an adventure. Wife wanted to do her master's degree, so we headed up there and went to work, and just got a phone call saying she took my kids and came back down to Florida. And it was pretty shocking. I think there was faults on both parts, but I don't think anybody deserves to be taken away from their kids. So
Wait, so just to, I think I heard it right. You moved down there with them for a job opportunity?
to Alaska.
Oh,
From
to
Florida
Alaska.
to Alaska.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh well, shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a heck of a jump.
Yeah. And then so she didn't like that, and then moved back to Florida without telling you.
Yeah. It was
Wow.
it was pretty mind blowing. I was left up there by myself.
Yeah.
All our stuff.
Damn. And that's a long. I mean, that's not even. You guys are friends. I mean, I would almost go to the point where you guys are, best friends if you've known each other since you were 3. You grew up together, and then you got married, had 4 kids. I mean, you guys know everything about each other.
Yeah, it was about 3rd grade. I met her in elementary school. So
Third
yeah,
grade,
it was
yeah.
it was a long time.
Wow. Yeah. So what happened? What happened after that?
Oh, I came down here, and I wanted to put my family back together, but I don't know, maybe we grew apart, things of that nature. She claimed that I was on drugs, I was a drug user, and that I was an addict, and that's just not the case. So,
And was that to try to keep the kids, or did she already? Because essentially, I'm assuming she already has the kids down in Florida because you stayed in Alaska.
no, I came down here.
Okay.
I came down 2 weeks later, trying to put everything together.
Gotcha. And it just
And,
didn't work.
No, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And people just grow apart.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. So she kept my kids from me for about 2 months. I was trying to get to them and trying to be a dad, because that's the only thing I've ever wanted my whole life. I got back from the Navy. Not from the Navy. I was with Valley Crest before I went to the Navy, and I remember calling her on the road and saying, "Hey, let's try to have a kid. I don't
Wow.
want to be an old dad."
Yeah.
And I didn't have a dad my whole life, but that's one thing I know I'll excel at and I'll be great at.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been a heck of a year. Today is the 1-year anniversary of when they left.
Oh wow.
So it's kind of weird to get in touch with you, and I saw it, and
Right.
I'm actually trying to do what you're doing, not as far as just as much as podcast, but I've been reaching out to dads on the single dad group, and I think this is kind of the universe's way, God's way of telling me that I need to use my talent. Because at Universal Studios, I like to go around, talk to people, and help them, figure out that most problems in life you put there. And once you can help somebody, and it takes someone else to help you strip away the things you put in your own way.
Absolutely.
As human beings, we try to think that all these problems are put in front of us, and that's just not true. The world's not against you, but it's also not for you. It's just
Right.
there, and meant to be used to your will. And this past year, from this experience, it's taken away my tongue, like my ability to speak.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of dads out there think it's like it's never ending, and it feels like that, but it's not. It's embrace the pain, and embrace the hardship. You're gonna get forged in the fire, and you're gonna come out the other side a better man for it.
Definitely. And a lot of dads want to give up because, they go through it for years and years and years thinking there's no end. But it's like, eventually you'll get through whatever you're going through, and it'll be better on the other side for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, you find out a lot about yourself, especially for those that were married for quite some time. It doesn't have to be from knowing them from the third grade or whatever. It's
Right.
you gotta even the people that are married now, like dads, and I want to give advice to those people, like, hey, make sure that you grow, not only together, but don't lose your personal identity, because you'll start cohabitating.
Yeah.
And I think that's what destroys a lot of marriages.
So what's going on now? So because you said soon to be divorced, so you guys are still technically married?
Yeah, still technically married. I had a lawyer, and about 2 months into having that lawyer, I realized that the system's rigged to make money.
Absolutely.
I remember sitting there in mediation, and I said, hey, I'll do 50-50, and I'll still give you some money. Just make it right now, and I'll move to where you're at. And she said no. And I was like,
couldn't be more reasonable than that.
Couldn't be more reasonable. I mean,
Wow.
I just want to be a dad. I want to be there for my kids every step of the way. I coach their baseball. I want to be a part of their lives.
Now, did she just want the control?
No, I think now I look back then I thought it was control, but when you're clouded, your emotions cloud you. So now that I'm here, I can look and you look from so many different perspectives. When you calm down, you take your emotions out of it. And I think it was more of she was scared and didn't know what was going on.
That's true, yeah.
And she, for instance, this is my first. I've had my son now for a week. It's probably the second week.
Oh, no way.
Like
so that's
2
brand
total
new.
weeks.
Wow.
And it's brand new, and I know it's hurting her.
Yep.
But I'm assuring her, like, I'll bring him home any minute, because she is a great mom.
Yep.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And I think that it was her lawyer fueling her. And when I was sitting in that mediation and I got done, the lawyer was like, "What are you doing, you idiot?" And I'm like, I gave you money.
Right.
Aren't you supposed to be going in the direction of my will?
Yeah.
Like, no matter what I decide, you're to back me up.
Yep.
And that's when I was like, you know what? This isn't going to work out.
And it sucks for both parties, because you guys are just spending money, and essentially it's the family. It's you guys are a unit for your kids at this point now. So it's like you guys are just both blowing money, spending it on attorneys.
I try to tell her that so many times. I try to say, hey, anything we spend on these lawyers is $1 taken away from our kids. I mean, right now I think probably her end, because she had to pay her lawyer. We're going to trial. I'm representing myself. I've decided I'll just do my best, and I bet you we're up to about $15,000. And I'm thinking to myself, man, 3 or 4, divide that into 4 and put that in an IRA.
Right.
So, like, that's a lot of money to compound interest in 20 years. I'm like,
absolutely.
I don't understand where I wanted to work it out. I wanted to do our own thing, but everything just kept leading to I'm not a fit father. I couldn't take care of my kids on my own. And that all came from, her saying that I took care of the kids our whole marriage. I'm like, she goes, well, you were out doing your thing. I was like, I never went to the bar. I didn't have no friends.
Right. When I was out there working.
I'm a family man. I didn't do that because of her insecurities or mine either. I just loved, like, when I got off of work, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. And then what can I do today? Okay. Well, one of them's an infant, and we know that dads feel shitty because most dads feel crappy whenever their kids are young. because they're like, what do I do with this baby? You know,
Right,
like this thing
right.
doesn't do anything. It just poops and pees. And but when they start asking why, and you know, I'm like, oh, well, what can I teach my son today? Like
Yeah,
clean a carburetor. And what does my daughter want to do? She want to paint my toenails? Oh, what color? Like that was it. So to
that's
her, I
awesome.
was out, you know, I wasn't taking care of them. I was like, what did you think I was doing for 7 years on night shift and in the oil field, killing myself on oil rigs? Like I wasn't doing that stuff because it was fun. I
Right,
was doing
exactly.
that to provide.
Yeah.
So I think now that her anger has calmed down, you know, it's a lot more. There's a better relationship there.
I was
It's
gonna
there's
ask, yeah, are you guys on like good talking terms now, or are you still? I mean, I'm sure there's still some arguments, but
yeah, there are still arguments, but I've figured out that it's more important to keep her calm than even if I think that what I say isn't that bad, but it's like I'd rather just keep it calm than to provoke her emotion
right.
because her emotions are are high. I'm assuming she's alone and you know she's
I feel like it's all women though, or most women. When I talk to the men, their emotions, guys can kind of turn them off. Guys can be really calm, like they don't want to argue, they don't want to fight, and women almost just see red and they just go and they can't flick it off.
yeah, that's true. I definitely had some emotions going in the beginning, but
Yeah,
as it goes along, you kind of calm down and you realize that this is happening. And I wish women didn't have such high emotions, but I think they're just built that way.
yeah. So
But
what's your schedule like? Do you or are you still trying to get 50-50 or
yeah, I'm making my move,
yeah,
trying to get back to Okeechobee. I met a girl out here in Sebastian, and I didn't think that I would meet somebody so soon, but I did, and I'm giving it a shot.
nice, good
And
for
she's
you.
a nice girl. I got 4 kids. She's got 3, so that's like the Brady Bunch square.
Yeah,
So, but everybody gets along. Everybody's you know, kind of making it happen. And she's a cool chick. I've told her, hey, I'm making my way to Okeechobee, so I'm trying to hopefully get there by the end of the year and be next to my kids
yeah,
because there's no other option.
yeah. Now
So
if
I'm
if you,
hoping that.
yeah, that's great, man. If you could give like some advice to any other dads out there with your situation, what would it be?
Well, first is that no matter what you decide, the idea of a good dad is it's perspective based. I mean, there's some really good dads that are still married and they're truck drivers.
Yeah,
They're never home. That doesn't make them bad dads. You have to provide as a man. It's how you want to provide, and I would say think about when your kids are older and they're 18, 19, 20, and they're starting to go into the world. You're going to look back and you just want to have the lowest amount of regret. So, like for me, I didn't have a dad growing up. It wasn't there. So for me, I want my kids to know that I'm like, hey, dad, like you might not always had it right, but you were always there.
yeah,
Like when I needed you, advice and everything else. But I would say just stay calm, keep going. Don't don't process every little word she says out of anger, and even the stuff that she does say in anger. Take it with some salt. Like just don't worry about it. It'll calm down. Keep pushing stuff to the side. Keep saying, okay, yeah, you're right. Let's talk later about it. Like you did when you were married.
yeah,
If you act more like when you were married through the process, it kind of calms them down.
yeah. No, that's great advice for sure. Yeah. What are you thinking about starting when you said you kind of want to do something like this?
I want to do some life coaching and help people out, help them help them identify their problems. And it's like you know where you're at and you know where you want to be, and in the middle is all skewed. But it's like having someone to talk to like me and you right now. I'm going to get off this podcast and I'm going to look back and reflect. And whenever you do you speak to somebody, if you're speaking to somebody that wants to help you and truly give you an unbiased perspective, you're just playing a mirror game. You're just saying, hey, what's going on? What's on your mind?
Yeah.
They tell you, and then you're like, hey, man, did you think about it from this way? Well, no, I didn't. Well, why is this a problem for? Like a guy going to work, I was doing it for work for a while. He'd be like, well, the food here sucks, and I showed up late for work, and I can't pay my bills, and it's like, all right, well, you make $40,000 and you have a $90,000 truck.
Right, you start breaking it down for them.
Yeah, you start breaking it down, and before you know it, you get them to a point where I miss seeing that smile on people's face, and they're like, wow, man, like, you're right. Like, I didn't look at it from that direction. It's like, why are you late for work all the time? Have you looked at different ways to get here?
Yeah.
Are you getting up an hour and 5 minutes before you need to be at work, knowing it takes you 55 minutes to get to work? Like, are you helping yourself not fall?
And exactly, and that's the hard thing about today's world too, is everyone has excuses, no one wants to take accountability, and it's so easy to be like, oh, I was just late again. It's like, well, get up a half hour earlier and get your shit right and get to work. It's like,
yeah, just go do it.
Yeah.
I mean, just like right now going through this divorce thing, it's like in the beginning I thought like she's terrible and she's the problem.
Yeah.
Now I look back and it's like, well, I probably wasn't as attentive as I should have been towards the end.
You kind of look at it in her eyes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? I can't fathom that something that had lasted that long can only break because of one person.
Yeah. I mean, for you
There's
guys,
no way.
Yeah, for you guys to be together for that long, I feel like, obviously it's going to take a while for you guys to get back to like not a date, not a relationship perspective, but just a friendship perspective. I think you guys will get back to that because you just know everything about each other, and it's a long time. So I feel like you guys will be on a good page. Might take a couple years, but you can't just throw something like that away,
Yeah.
So
No, you gotta stay. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, you know everything about somebody, so that's another good advice is remember all those things and start writing them down. Yeah. Like if she likes apple pie, bake an apple pie, and next time you drop the kids off, be like, hey, I got you some pie. Yep. For what? No reason. Just remember when you bite that pie, it's from me.
Yep.
Awesome, so how did you get into this? How long have you been doing this for?
So for me, I started it a couple years back, but I started it because I was angry. I needed a way to vent, and I'm a videographer. So I had all the equipment, and I made a podcast with my story, my situation, and it, reached a lot of people, and there was some hate, there was some love. But it was almost like people thought I was bashing my baby mama just because I was so angry with how things were going. And I'm still in court 6 years in, and it's still not going good. Oh yeah, I've dropped, the amount of money we've spent is crazy and everything. So it's just been a crazy road, and it's only kind of destroying my kids. Every day I just see my kids, it's just, they're taking it bad, mentally, it's just not good. So then I just started reaching out to other dads, and I was like, let me try to talk to them, because I wish I was a better speaker. I wish I really was a good speaker for podcasting and stuff, but I love hearing people's problems and listening and trying to solve them, but kind of just talking with them. So I just started this, and I was like, let's keep it going. So it's been going good.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I'm gonna be watching all your videos and probably be addicted for the next.
I love it. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm an introvert, so this was a big step out the box for me to jump on video and talk to other guys. I know even for you to come on, it's the same kind of thing. Like you don't know what you're stepping into or who you're talking to. I'm all the way across the country, so. But
oh yeah, no. Right now, I keep telling myself in my head, I'm like I'm hearing me right now watching myself in this other screen, and I'm like, God, you sound like an asshole. But it's like you can talk so well when you're not doing this, but it's like I'm also telling myself, hey man, relax, you have a conversation. It's your first time, and
absolutely.
you're not going to be good by talking in person. Is totally different from doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so
Dude,
that day when you went through your 6 years,
6 years still going. Still, we
it's
haven't had our
echoing in
final
the back
yet.
of my head right now. I'm trying to really grasp
Yeah.
because I feel like today being the anniversary of a year, it feels like in comparison to the rest of my life, such a long. It seems like my whole life has been this past year.
Right.
So I'm trying to think of 6 years. Like, I'm sorry, but
Yeah, and we're still not even on talking terms. Me and my ex, we email and that's it if we need to. So we still do not like each other, and it's bad. But I talk to other dads, and some other dads have 10, 12 years, 20 years. It's like, it's wild. Some of these guys have been going through it for this long. So I take 6 years, and I'm like, shit, thank God, you know? Thank God it's only 6. Hopefully it'll be done by 7.
hey, it's all perspective.
Yeah.
It's all perspective.
Yeah.
Dang, dude. Did you so you probably went through the whole parent bashing to the kids.
Oh, all of it. And that was the hardest part for me, is that it was going on, and it was, it was recorded. I have text messages from her to my kids saying, do this, do that, do this. So you just see the change in your kids, and you're just like, why isn't this ending yet? Because she's still doing this to the kids. So that's what frustrates me the most is, you're affecting I have 2 girls. You're affecting the girls, and what are you getting out of it? What are you winning? It's only screwing them up further down the road. So I just want this to get over, so then they can grow up kind of normal. So
Yeah, it's like the first one I had of that was my son was like, Daddy, I want you to come home. I want you to come home. I'm like, trying, buddy. And it actually I had a couple of nightmares about it. Like it repeats, but he said, Daddy, Mommy said all you have to do is go see a doctor and fix your head,
oh god.
and you can come home. I was like, I did everything I could not to bash her.
Right, exactly. So you're thinking about your kids in that situation, saying, if I bash her in front of my kids, they're gonna then think of all that stuff. They're gonna be alienated. You know what I mean? And it's just not a good look.
No, and then you're talking about a 9-year-old kid, and she didn't realize at the time, and I hope she is now. We're talking about she's a guidance counselor.
Yeah.
And so it's like I don't understand how she doesn't understand, but between the ages of 7 and 9, those are pretty important years. I mean, your identity is built from 0 to 7.
Yeah.
Your personality, your identity from 7 to 9, maybe 7 to 11, I think it is, and then you only get from 7 to 11, maybe 12 or 13 before your kids start seeking the approval of their peers before they want the approval of their parents. And It's like, you're going to send this kid out in the world with a very skewed idea of who to trust. And you're telling this to a boy at 7 to 9 when they are seeking their father. They're going to get older, and then they're going to start hating you. You're only causing yourself damage.
Yep.
But I can't say that it's all good. Like I didn't do the greatest either. Like there was one time where I retaliated, and sat my daughter down and was like, because she wrote a big list of stuff like, Daddy, why are you a liar? And Daddy, why? I'm like, it hit me at home, and I did retaliate. I was like, hey, what was it? It's Mark in the Bible where it says that you shouldn't get divorced, because the people of Moses got divorced because at the time their hearts were hard. But never get divorced by another man's word unless you lie with someone else. Well, there was no infidelity within my divorce.
Yeah.
On both sides. And I said, Tabitha, so what does this mean? And she's like, well, it means that Mommy didn't follow the Bible. I'm like, so then who do you think's going to hell? Biggest thing I ever regret saying.
Yeah.
Is that right there. And man, if you're a dad out there and just when your emotions get revved up, like you think you're not going to regret something, but you are, and it's hard to go back and apologize to a kid about a statement that you made. They don't understand.
Right.
And then you look like like an ass for going back on your word. Now they can't trust you.
Yep. And they'll remember, they remember those things that were said, so it's tough to get that out of their head for sure.
Good Lord, this is a journey and a half. You
Yeah.
have an awesome podcast. I'll be addicted in watching it, but you never know. I might just get off here and just bawl my eyes out for 5 minutes.
Yeah. 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 Guys don't show too much emotion, so that's why I was surprised in the Facebook group. There's so many I couldn't believe how many dads are in that group.
There's a lot, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? What a great, like, I wish I would have found that thing 11 months ago.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
because the support system for men is so low.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so low. And the closer you are with another guy, like your best friend, you'll find more advice from a stranger on that group than you will your best buddy.
Oh, definitely.
Because as men, we're programmed to have low emotion. So when we see another guy in pain and agony, we're like, hey,
Get up.
do you want to drink whiskey till we can't tell which way we go?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, okay. I mean, it's not the greatest behavior, but we're programmed to not feel. So we're going to go towards anything that's going to make us forget, whether you're going out hunting, fishing, drinking. I mean, anything you're going to do. But yeah, man, I wish there was a way to put that single dads group out there even more
Yeah.
so people can help out. I mean, I'm up to like 30 or 40 messages on DMs with people, like,
That's awesome.
and I'm making time for them because I've gotten that in response.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've asked and I've received. I wish there was more things like that.
Yeah.
Thinking about just doing another one, not to take away the limelight from single dad group, but just hell, I mean, look at Pinterest and all these other, these things. There's like so much stuff out there for women to go on and talk about, be supported about. There's nothing on there. You couldn't go on to like hunting and fishing group and be like, hey man, my baby mama just left me and she took it all. They'd be like, did they take your fishing gear? Like, shit, man. So it's like there's got to be a way to mask it so they can still seem tough. Because there's a lot of guys on there. The guy I told today, I told him that his like a situation between his wife, his brother, is like she was on meth and stuff, and I said, in his message in the group was, I'm going through a lot. Would anybody have advice to DM me? And the last thing I said to him was like, hey, whether you posted what we talked about or you just asked like you did, it takes a lot of balls to set your pride aside.
Yeah.
And ask.
And ask for some help. Yep. And the biggest thing I tell the biggest thing I tell a lot of dads and, some of the advice that other dads give too is, it's get a support group, not group, but like get a support person. If it's anyone to talk to, that's why a lot of dads join that group, is because they don't have people to talk to, so that they can show their emotion on, with a comment or something like that and get some advice. But it's just like, you need to let it out, release it, whatever you're going through, and it will help you.
It'll help a lot. I wish I would have, I got a really good friend, and I'm definitely going to refer him to this posted, but
Awesome.
I'm going to say it out loud. His name is Nicholas Lord, and I met him at Universal Studios, and he went through a lot, and he's helped me out a lot through this, and just some simple stuff that a lot of guys should know, like, even if you don't feel like you have it in you, and it's whether the beginning or the end or the middle, it doesn't matter, like, prayer and meditation, they give you a moment to reflect. So, like, let's say you're not a churchgoer, right? But the reason that church is so effective is it doesn't matter where you're going there to pray to. It matters that you're giving yourself an hour a week to have some mental reflection. Dude, pick a day and go out in the woods. And I did it for a while and just talk.
Yep.
Just talk. Don't internalize it. Say it out loud. Like, I remember my first walk. It was out at Lake Runnymede in St. Cloud, Florida, and I was walking around, and the first thing I said was, you fucked up. You're a piece of shit. And your kids won't love you no more, and there's nothing left for you to do. You might as well just run. That was the first thing I said. It was something along those lines. But just getting it out.
Yeah.
Knowing that I wasn't all the problem, but that's just how I felt. Do it. whether you're sitting in your bed or you're driving down the road in the car, it doesn't matter what comes out. Everyone's always like, oh, don't have negative talk. And it's like, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, you're always going to have negative thoughts, and you got to be able to talk about it, especially to yourself, just to get it out off your chest. I think that's the way to do it for sure.
Yeah, just say something. I mean, balling up ain't going to get you nowhere but jail. I can tell you that much. That's going to happen quick.
Yeah.
I mean, just open up a lot of stuff right now. I haven't talked about in a minute.
It's good, though. It's good. It's good.
I mean, 6 years though. How many kids do you have?
2 girls, 10 and 13.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's pretty good.
I got girl, boy. Tyler, Tabitha, Nathan, Tyler, and Nash.
Yeah.
My ex-wife's name is Tamara, so Tamara and Nick, and we went T's and T's.
T's and T's, yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be TNT, but then the last N came.
Yeah.
Little Eskimo baby in Alaska, because when winter comes.
Oh yeah.
You got nothing else to do.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there once, a long time ago when I was a kid, and it's crazy. Yeah, there was. It was in the newspaper. There was a moose on a roof because the snow was so high. They could just walk right onto like people's roofs and stuff. It was wild.
Yeah, it was wild. Yeah. They had like the worst storm in like 30 years. Our first winter there, and I remember shoveling the roof off, and I'm like, man, that's what a coincidence. From Florida to here, we get this big rainstorm in the middle of winter. It rained for like a day. I went from a -30 to above 32, and then back down to -30. I was doing 360s on a grader going down the highway.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah, damn. So you're in Florida now?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Florida now. I'm currently right now. I'm in Sebastian.
Sebastian. Okay. Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, thank you for jumping on the podcast and sharing your story. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you responding so quick, and I'm gonna reflect on this one, and I'd love to come on again and talk, and I want to develop my own skill set. So,
dude, let me know, and
if you do another one on any other subject or anything like that, hit me up.
Absolutely.
And if there's any dads out there that see this, you do a great job, Dan, making all this happen. So I want to put that out there, and also is Nick Carpenter on Facebook. Yeah. His face. if you're running into a problem, man, like you don't have any support, give me a shout. I'm willing to talk to you and walk through it, and you're not alone.
Awesome. Well, I'll tag your Facebook page in the description of the video, so if people can click on it and go see you.
Sweet, man. So, appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on again.
All right, buddy.
We'll stay in touch. Have a good one. Bye.